Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. Hope you are having a great day, great night, wherever you are watching in from. Big news just literally happened in the past 15 minutes. Yamans was about to go out and get himself a buffalo chicken wrap for lunch. I put that on hold because this news dropped from Bloomberg. So Bloomberg had this scoop. So good job, Bloomberg. But Bloomberg had this scoop that U.S. regulators have subpoenaed Bitfinex, the crypto exchange, as well as Tether. A lot of you have probably been hearing news rumblings about Tether. Tether's auditor dropped them as as a client. A lot of not so great things happening right now with Tether, so we'll hop into that. Just a quick heads up, quick notice on this one. But tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern time, I'm doing part 2 of the Crypto Street podcast. So I was on previously. I forgot to press the record button. That won't happen again. But I'll be on the Crypto Street podcast tonight. We'll be recording that episode. It'll go out on their podcast. I'm not exactly sure when, but I will be streaming the episode so you guys can listen live to the audio. No, I won't be able to really interact as much, if not at all. But if you guys want to listen to that, I will be streaming that on YouTube tonight. If you want to listen to the Crypto Street podcast at 10 p.m., they're awesome. Love the previous conversation that we didn't record, or I didn't record. So if you want to listen live to that one, definitely hit the subscribe button, the notify bell, and also subscribe to the guys on Crypto Street Podcast. Hit them up on Twitter. They're awesome. So that'll be going on tonight, as I said before. But let's hop into the news. What really matters, what everybody's freaking out about. U.S. regulators have subpoenaed Bitfinex, have subpoenaed Tether, and a lot of people saying, "Yo, this is FUD." Not great news. Let's be frank here. This isn't great news. This isn't unexpected though. In my opinion, it's not unexpected. This is if you've been paying attention, if you've seen any of Bitfinex tweets in the past couple of days, you know this stuff has been kind of ready to get popping off for quite some time. So this is this is something that you kind of expected here, and you can see if we pop over to the charts, when this got announced, you saw crypto was already dipping quite a bit. I wonder if there's some people that knew about this stuff prior to be kind of honest. This at 8 a.m., you saw some pretty significant sell-off, and then within the past really hour of this getting announced, you saw another 6-7% dip in crypto. There's been a decent-sized recovery, but still not fantastic. Forgive me as I go through this because I haven't gotten a chance to really dive into all of this. I literally was about to get lunch and I was like, oh crap, should probably pop on live, talk to you guys about what's going on. So I haven't gotten a chance to dive into this. So I'm going to kind of do this live with you guys. But as far as this happening, there are people that are talking a little bit about the severity of it. Like, is this really that big of a deal? Can the U.S. actually do anything about a company that's not headquartered in the U.S.? And yeah, We'll have to determine that as this goes. But according to Bloomberg, U.S. regulators, the Commodities Future Trading Commission, the CFTC, has issued a subpoena against Bitfinex, against Tether, for the Tether USDT coin that is basically trading there. If you're not familiar with Bitfinex, you're probably in the U.S. Bitfinex, we'll take a look on CoinMarketCap as far as the size of Bitfinex from a volume exchange perspective. So Bitfinex is definitely it's the 4th largest cryptocurrency exchange. So the fact that, Bitfinex has been subpoenaed by the U.S., not great. But they are the 4th largest cryptocurrency exchange. They did about $1 billion in volume, $1.3 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. And the common trading pairing there is often, or one of the common trading pairings there is USDT. Somebody saying this isn't FUD, Tether could destroy crypto. If Tether goes, if Tether turns out to be the crazy fraud that a lot of people think it is, I don't think it's necessarily going to destroy crypto. I think it was pumping a lot of money into the crypto world that necessarily isn't legit, but I don't think it's going to destroy crypto by any stretch. That's not... It'll be a pullback. It'll be a pullback of pretty decent sized proportions. this was one of two things in my mind that could really drop crypto, and it's massive regulation by the US government, or maybe some other large governments out there, but massive crippling regulation by the government, and or Tether. And we're looking at Tether right now. Some people are saying, Tether is it's $2 billion. The market cap is $2 billion. That's just 1% of Bitcoin. Who gives a shit? And the thing about that, and the thing that you need to understand, is that if people are printing up Tether basically out of nowhere, that is a lot of liquidity that is going into the market that really isn't true. That doesn't exist. And that's one of the big things that's one of the big issues, is that if you've noticed, and you can go, we'll pop over to our man's Bitfinex. Is he here? Did I even spell it right? Where is he? There we go. No, did he delete his Twitter? Oh, no, here we go. But so with Tether, if you ever want to get into the conspiracy theory nature of this, hop over to this guy on Twitter. He will let you know everything. I followed him for a while. Sometimes it can just get overwhelming. You want to be happy sometimes, but you're definitely going to hear about a lot of the potential issues with Tether there, and you can go into a lot of it. There's a lot of information there that's on Bitfinex Twitter feed. But as we'll pop down here and give me a little bit of a second to just digest a little bit more of this article, but you see here, people are saying, hey, it's only $2.3 billion. That's not a big deal in the overall scheme of cryptocurrency. But when you're talking about net inflows into crypto and artificial net inflows, that's the issue, because just $1 into crypto doesn't mean $1 in market capitalization. If somebody puts $10 million into crypto, that could mean hundreds of millions of dollars, if not maybe $1 billion in the inflation of the market capitalization. Because if you're talking about that money moving into crypto and increasing the price, the market capitalization of crypto is not all the money. It's not all the net inflow of crypto. Crypto itself, the market capitalization right now is $510 billion in market cap. That doesn't mean people have taken $510 billion of USD or whatever fiat. That means that they might have invested that in when it was $1 billion or $5 billion in market cap, whatever it might be. But as the market capitalization is, the last price paid times, basically it's the last price paid times the circulating supply. And then for the entire market cap, it's all of those combined. But $2 billion of Tether could be a significant amount of net inflow into the industry, into cryptocurrency, that could drop that quite a bit. And that's what you're seeing happen right now, is this sell-off here, and we'll pull it up on the 15-minute charts. But that's what you're seeing happen now, is that sell-off at this point in time, where I think people are not too pleased about it. As far as what I'm doing right now, to be pretty frank, I'm not doing all that much. I'm looking at this, and I've said this before. I mean, the only real shelter, in my opinion, from Tether is the USD or fiat. If you wanted to cash out your crypto into USD, into fiat, I'm curious too what's happening to the price of Tether. I don't know if it's that unstable or anything like that. I haven't gotten a chance to look here. Let's see what's up with Tether. So it's at $1.01. Is it dropping off right now? We'll take a look. So Tether just went from $1 to 98 cents. So nothing too crazy there. And so as you go into a little bit more about what is happening here, like I said, the big thing is, if this turns out to be super legit, it might not be. Where there's smoke, there's fire with a lot of these issues. Every time there's been rumors of government regulation, of rumors or of crypto crackdowns or anything like that, where there's smoke, there is fire in crypto. That's what I'll say to that. Like when China came out and banned cryptocurrency, there were rumors for like a week or two that China was going to ban crypto, and everybody's like, yo, this is FUD, this is BS, it's not real, it's not real, whatever. Where there was smoke, there was fire. with BitConnect, when the SEC came out and was like, hey, you know, here's a cease and desist, everybody's like, yo, this is just, all the BitConnect promoters like, yo, this is just FUD, this is just FUD. 2 weeks later, platform's dead. So that type of thing, you know, I'm not going to say this is going to definitively be the end of Tether or anything like that, but a lot of times where there are these issues, then this is something that doesn't always spell the greatest thing on the planet by any stretch. And one of the big warning signs there too was the audit. So a lot of what's going on with Tether and a lot of what people say is that the issue with Tether, not only the issue that might have to do with this, with the CFTC, Naima, I'll get to Neo in a second here for sure. But not only does this issue have to do with the CFTC, but also the audit. The big thing that a lot of people are worried about here is that they believe that Tether is artificially printing money. Tether is supposed to be backed by the dollar. So for every Tether you have, for every time you purchase, or for every time you switch out your Bitcoin to a Tether, there's supposed to be $1 in a bank account somewhere that is the equivalent of that Tether. So if you ever wanted to say, hey, here's my Tether, I want $1 for it, you could eventually do that at some point in time. However, there is no audit, or there is no real audit for that. And one of the big things that happened recently was they had an accounting firm, Friedman LLP, that was apparently their auditor. And pretty recently, a couple days ago, Friedman removed Tether from their website and was no longer working with Tether. And then Tether confirmed that Friedman was no longer their auditor. So not only have they not produced a legit audit to show, hey, we actually have this money in the bank, they basically broke, either their auditor fired them or they fired their auditor. But not a great sign at all from that going down. And this could literally all be solved if Tether, you know, I'm not an accountant, but I can't imagine it's that hard if your entire business model is simply, just to hold on to, if your entire business model is simply just to have $1 in the bank for every Tether. Can't be that hard to run an audit on that, and it can't be that hard to produce an audit on that. I see JD saying Bitfinex is in Hong Kong. U.S. has no jurisdiction in Hong Kong. That might be true, and I'm not exactly sure kind of what the jurisdiction laws there are. I've seen some people on Twitter say, hey, you know, they don't have any jurisdiction there, when there have been some other issues, and it's gone back to some of the other ones out there as well, with like BTCE and some of the other ones where the U.S. has arrested or subpoenaed companies that are headquartered abroad, and that has stuck, and they've either extradited them or anything like that. Somebody said Adriana Gibson, crypto sad hour, a little dramatic. I don't know. Would you call a 6% drop in Bitcoin and probably the rest of your altcoins a little dramatic? I don't know. Is the fact that not one crypto is in green on on-chain FX? You tell me if that's dramatic. I don't know. It's a little bit sad to me, but yeah. So going through some of these comments here, and somebody mentioned Neo. I was going to make my video on Neo today. They're having their DevCon right now. They invited me out to San Francisco for that DevCon. So shout out to Neo for that. Shout out to Neo for that invite. That would have been awesome. I just couldn't swing it with work, but shout out to Neo for the invite out there. However, Neo is right now, I think, one of the big beneficiaries going on with the fact that they're getting new ICOs in their platform. And that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit today is Ethereum's utility and value skyrocketed as more and more ICOs started happening on their platform. More ICOs are happening on Neo's platform, which I think is an extremely bullish sign. And somebody else, Timothy, mentioned EOS, Neo, and LTC for the long term. I like Neo. I like EOS. I like the platform plays. I personally like the utility of Litecoin. I use Litecoin a lot. I'm not a massive proponent of investing in Litecoin for the long term, though. I think there's a lot of competition with Litecoin. Transactional cryptocurrencies, there is a lot of competition, and there's not an incredible amount of differentiation right now between something like Litecoin. Even if Bitcoin can scale better, there's a lot of competition, or a lot more competition for Litecoin than some of the other platform plays. And I am positive and bullish on Neo as it continues to ramp up the ICOs in the platform, and EOS should be an interesting one to keep as well. Somebody's saying you should be talking about BTC in all caps. I'll talk about as much as I can talk about, folks. But yeah, I mean, so Bitcoin, we got back a little bit of a bounce recently, and it's been bouncing. It's bounced off $9,750 twice, or that $9,700 range twice in the past hour. I'm not sure if it'll stay there or not. We'll see what type of range that is. I'm not sure if anybody is trading this. For me personally, I'm not trading it right now. The time to, at least for me, the time to trade it was 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, when the dip was down. If I sold then and bought back in a little bit here when it dropped 6-7%, that's great. But I didn't sell. Could this continue to dip? Could more FUD continue to come out of it? Absolutely. But I'm holding on for the time being, and I'll probably dollar cost average myself in more and more at this point in time. Somebody, and I'll go back into it, but if you guys want to check out this article from Bloomberg, somebody said, can you explain what's happening? Why are you talking about Tether? So Tether is Tether, Bitfinex. There's a close relationship there between Bitfinex and Tether. They got a subpoena from the U.S. regulatory agency, the Commodities Future Trading Commission. They allow for margin trading. They have, to Bitfinex, to one point there, though, Bitfinex does not allow U.S. registrations on their platform anymore. They disabled U.S. residents from registering on Bitfinex. So that could be a potential positive, but I don't think it's a good sign. There's a lot of FUD around Tether as far as, I don't even think it's FUD. I think it's pretty well founded now. There is, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, where there's smoke, there's fire, where there is a lot of bad things potentially happening, where there's rumors going on about bad things happening. A lot of times there's bad things happening. It's just a week or two out. So we'll have to see. I personally don't have much confidence in Tether. I don't use Tether. Tether scares me. And it's really just a principle thing. It's taxed the same as Tether is taxed the same. Crypto to crypto is taxed the same as moving it to US dollars. So if I want to cash out, if I want to take profits, I don't take profits in US dollar Tether. I'll take them in the US dollar. If I want safety, if I want anything like that, I'll do that as well. So taking a look through some of these questions here as well. Somebody said you quit your job. Now I'm on my lunch break right now. I'm working from home today, so I'm taking my lunch break right now to talk about crypto. So I won't be able to be on here for 3 hours or anything like that. But I figured I was gonna record a live video during my lunch break, but I figured if there's as good of a time as ever to hop in here and talk to you guys, it's when the market is dipping like crazy. And this turns out to be a solid time. Somebody's saying Bitcoin is dead. I don't think Bitcoin is dead, and I don't think crypto is dead. I think that if this FUD turns out to be true, it will pull back the crypto market. It's already pulled back the crypto market. It will do that even more so. So that is something you definitely want to keep in mind. Somebody's saying no whiskey later, no crypto happy hour later. One thing if you guys were late for, but we got Crypto Street. If I can type it in. So if you guys would like to join for a live interview, if you ever heard the Crypto Street podcast before, I will be on the Crypto Street podcast this evening at 10 p.m. They're going to record that, put it out on iTunes, but they're actually letting me live stream that, the audio. So if you'd like to listen to the live stream, won't be able to take any questions because it's their show, but they're being kind enough to let me stream the audio. So I'll be shooting the shit with those dudes from Crypto Street podcast. So if you'd like to, follow them on Twitter and subscribe to their podcast, whatever podcast thing you use, but those guys are awesome. Really big fan. 10 p.m. Eastern time if you'd like to join for that. So looking at some of these quick chats as well. It's better to get over this Tether Bitfinex hump if we're ever going to go higher and still have this hanging over our heads. I actually kind of agree, Julio. That's a good point. What worries me is how bad it could be, but I do think that Tether and Bitfinex and all the bad news, potential bad news around that, I'd rather get that out of the way now and take a dip and eat some shit for a while rather than have that happen when we're at maybe $25,000 Bitcoin or when the market's going all up and everything like that. I would just say to keep everything in mind when you're trading. If you have a bunch of money in crypto and you're getting petrified, if you want to take a little bit of profits, then do that. The market could definitely, I'll say this, the market could definitely dip lower if all this stuff turns out to be bad news. The market could certainly dip lower. And if you're petrified of it, then take some profits, whatever. However, if you can stomach seeing your crypto drop, then hold, maybe buy some more when it dips. I don't think this fundamentally, in my opinion, Tether doesn't fundamentally change anything about crypto. It doesn't change the demand for crypto. It doesn't change the fact that Robinhood had 1 million people sign up for their waiting list. It doesn't change the fact that a lot of the regulation around this industry is going to be, I think, hopefully a positive thing as we continue to move forward. Tether and Bitfinex, maybe they're bad actors, maybe they're not, but I don't think this fundamentally changes anything about crypto in the long run. So this could potentially be, for me, be something like a buying opportunity in the near term. I'll have to wait and see how it shakes out, but definitely hold on to your bootstraps because it's going to be some turbulent times, especially in these coming hours, as we are talking about everything here. Tom Jones said Jackson Palmer did a video on Stellar's platform for ICOs the other day. That was an awesome video. Jackson Palmer, if you don't follow him on YouTube, on Twitter, he's a fantastic dude. Really enjoyed Jackson Palmer's thoughts. His videos technically are awesome. They're super insightful. So check out that video. I actually listened to it last night. It was great. Can you speak to the competition between Ethereum, Stellar, and Neo for ICOs? So Ethereum is definitely the big dog in the room in regards to ICOs. Most companies that I've talked to in the industry, most companies that I talked to at the Bitcoin Miami conference are still running their ICOs on Ethereum. There's the most development happening on the Ethereum network. There are the most developers. There is the most infrastructure built up around it. However, there's definitely issues there with it. It's also a nice marketing pitch, I think, for Neo and for Stellar. Because if they can gather some bigger name ICOs to happen on their platforms, then that could be a positive thing. And if you're the hottest ICO on Neo, that might be more of a marketing pitch, and you might not get as lost as you might be being just another ICO on Ethereum. So it's something that I definitely want to keep in mind. Again, I was going to make a video, and Tom, I'll probably make a video about this more in depth as far as the competition, because I do think that if you invest in some of these platforms that could pick up steam like Neo and like Stellar for ICOs, you could see some pretty outsized returns on that. So that's interesting. Harish, thanks for streaming on your lunch. I appreciate that. I will be getting a buffalo chicken wrap later, so I'm excited for that. Should be pretty dope. Somebody said I need a drink. Yes. Don't we all right now? Don't we all? Checking in on some more of these chats here as well, and I'm trying to go as fast as possible and just take things as so. If I'm all over the place, I'm all over the place. Apologies on that. Somebody said, love Jackson Palmer. He's really smart. Yeah, he's super smart dude. Like him a lot. I've talked to him a bunch on Twitter, and I think he brings a very intelligent take to the space. Somebody's saying we're doomed. I don't think we're doomed. I think that's could this be the start of, I mean, we've already been in a bear market probably for the majority of the month of January after the big alt run and then the subsequent massive correction with these altcoins. We've been in a bear market since mid-January. Could this be the continuation of that? For sure. But I'm not too worried about that. One thing I would say too, and a lot of people are saying, and I'm curious as far as how this is affecting, let's just see US dollar Tether Neo. Damn. This could be a decent, so depending upon where you're looking, and again, I am by no means saying that this dip is over. If Tether turns out to be just a blatant scam, a blatant fraud, whatever you want to say, the market will dip lower. But if you like some crypto here, if there are certain cryptocurrencies, crypto assets that you like, this could be a fantastic buying opportunity. We're talking about sub $10,000 Bitcoin again. You're talking about things like Neo that was trading at, Neo was pretty much trading at all-time highs recently, and is now back below $1, $140. ETH is taking a little bit of a hit. There are a lot of, you're seeing hits across the board in crypto right now. So if you're looking for some deals, now might be a decent time for that. I don't think there's any debate about that. I don't think there's any, I think that is really, very much a possibility that the market continue to dip, but dollar cost average your way in if you feel comfortable, if you are looking for some opportunities there. So that's something you want to be considered with, or you want to be concerned with. If you are new to the channel by any chance, definitely hit that subscribe button, by the way. I would really appreciate that if you hit the subscribe button, the notify bell, the next time I do pop on here for these emergency crypto happy sad hours, or whatever you want to call them, whatever you want to joke around about them. I would really appreciate that. That'd be fantastic. And if you have been around, I would love it if you could hit the like button so this could get out to as many people as possible. That would be awesome. Somebody's saying I'm not scared. Yeah, I'm not petrified, but yeah, who knows? Again, somebody's saying the Tether market cap is $2.5 billion. The total market cap is 500 million or billion. Who cares? The thing though is you have to concern yourself with the net inflow of money into crypto. $2 billion of net inflow into crypto is massively important to the overall market capitalization. We'll see if we could find anything off the top here that might. So let's see, James Crypto. So this is JP Morgan, but let's see here. I'm trying to look as far as getting some stats. There have been a couple analysts that have come out and said some things as far as don't play that as a, so I don't know if I could see it right off the top, but really why net inflow matters is because not every dollar of market capitalization is not equivalent to the net inflow. So for every dollar you put into cryptocurrency, that might mean $10 or $5 added to the market cap. If I take $1 million of USD and I buy a bunch of Bitcoin with that, that might raise the market capitalization of Bitcoin by $5 million or $10 million or beyond that, because I'm buying at these levels. And if I'm buying up with that level with that much money, I am increasing the overall market capitalization by a larger perspective, because the market cap is simply the price of that cryptocurrency, the last price of that cryptocurrency times the overall supply in crypto. So definitely something you want to be concerned with when you look at all of that. Somebody says, is now a good time to buy BitConnect? Yeah, when you're looking at a 98, 99% dip, I think that's pretty solid. I think that's a solid value. I'm kidding. Please, God, 99% down 99% from the all-time high. Shout out to BitConnect. And I'm kidding. God, do not buy that. Do not buy that. Do not buy that. Do not buy that. Pretty crazy, you know. Somebody said that was a good investment there. So taking a look at some of these questions, what's up, everybody? My name is Carlos. Going all in, folks. And yeah, I mean, this is one of the big things that you want to look at now is, were there any cryptocurrencies that you were looking at that you wanted to buy in on a dip? Everybody always says, yo, I'm waiting for the dip. I'm waiting for the dip. I want to buy the dip on this crypto. I want to buy the dip. Do you really want to buy it? Is now the time for you? And if so, don't go all in by any stretch. That is, I am not a financial advisor. I am not saying anything like that. Disclaimer. But if you've been looking at opportunities to average your way into a cryptocurrency, now might be a halfway decent time. Although, as always, I say dollar cost average because I think the dip could come even harder. The dip could come even faster. So you don't want to go all in now, because what happens if you go all in and it dips even lower? That sucks. Buy BitConnect or a Buffalo or a chicken burrito. Definitely go with the chicken burrito. The burrito will hold its value even after you turn that into excrement. It will be more valuable. Kyle Babcock, when are you interviewing Carlos Matos from New York, from the Bronx? Very soon, man. Very soon. Somebody said Ryblox is actually, let's see, we'll pop over here. Not ZRB, XRB. It's not on Coinigy. So I'm going to pop over to see if anybody's tweeted anything new and definitive on Twitter. And so also one of the things too, and speaking of Jackson, my man, so speaking of Jackson, one thing that you might want to that's interesting is that the exchanges that serve US customers and trade in Tether, not just Bitfinex, but also Tether, you have Bittrex, which is a US company. You have Poloniex, which is, I believe, a US company. Binance is not, but Binance has Tether. There are a lot of companies out there that now have Tether trade pairings. So it would be interesting to see why how this might affect something like Bittrex or Poloniex as well. I'll keep an eye on that, but I'm popping into all that. Let's see here. Wait. And that's interesting. So apparently Nathaniel Popper, who is the author of Digital Gold, one of my favorite books in the crypto world. If you haven't read Digital Gold, read Digital Gold. Fantastic book about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. But he said that the CFTC subpoenaed Bitfinex and Tethered on December 6th. So this is almost 2 months ago. So that's weird. Thanks to Bitfinex and Tether for keeping their customers informed. That's crazy. So a lot of this needs to kind of, I don't know. We'll have to see how this goes. But I'm trying to keep an eye on all of this, and I'm trying to keep an eye on all of this and make sure I kind of have a good feel for all of this as it's going. Somebody said, thanks for all that you do for the community. Appreciate that from Holland. Have you read into the Legolas ICO? Yeah, I've looked at it a little bit. They don't allow for U.S. investors, I believe, but it looks pretty interesting. I am a fan of it. I was actually going to throw a tweet out about it tomorrow. So I was going to do more due diligence on Legolas tonight and talk a little bit about it tomorrow. I've seen some interesting things that people have spoken about as well from a Legolas perspective. So that's one I've been keeping an eye on, but I was going to dive into the white paper in more depth tonight and kind of talk about that in a little bit more detail. So I'm trying to go through this, and if you guys also another guy who's actually a lawyer, Crypto Bully, another fantastic follow in the crypto world, but there have been. I'm trying to keep as much as pace with the questions and as all this new information being streamed about Tether and about Bitfinex. But Crypto Bully, who, like I said, is a lawyer, said that subpoenas can be pretty routine. There's nothing to worry about. If there's actually nothing to worry about, there might be something to worry about right now. So nobody really knows. One thing I would say is that if you have, I personally don't use Bitfinex, but if you have money on exchanges, like somebody just mentioned if you have money on exchanges, now might be a decent time to get that money off the exchanges. So if you hold a bunch of cryptocurrency, you keep it on an exchange, whatever it might be. If you have a Ledger Nano S, if you have a hardware wallet, if you have anything like that, I would move just for full safekeeping. If you're okay holding, if you're trying to trade in, if you want to be a little bit riskier, if you want to do whatever, you can do that. But if you're definitely committing yourself to holding through any potential dip, then I would think about moving. I would personally think about moving that Bitcoin off of the exchanges for the time being. So that's something you want to think about as it goes. I have most of my money is on my ledgers. Kind of spread about throughout the world. So most of my money's on the ledgers, but I do have a little bit of crypto on the exchanges in preparation for dips. So that is that's on some exchanges, but I am considering moving it. I have it on Binance right now. I am a little bit worried about any exchanges that have US dollar tether. I wouldn't be too worried about like a GDAX or a Coinbase or a Gemini or anything that has, somebody says you only need one ledger. Why not have more, man? Spread out the risk, brother. Spread out the risk. So I'm very much more trusting of any of the exchanges like a GDAX or a Gemini or any of the ones that don't have a USDT pairing right now. So that's one thing I'm definitely looking into. Somebody said, do I think Tether is actually backed by crypto? I don't think Tether's, for the most part, backed by anything until they prove me otherwise. Very simple solution for Tether. Very, very simple solution for Tether. Do an audit, show you have money in the bank, and that's it. Like, that's not that hard. Do you have $1 for every Tether that's out there? Yes or no? Prove it. Simple. A lot of people are saying, yo, FUD, bad news. Pretty easy for them to be like, hey, here's our bank accounts with X amount of money in the bank. Do an audit. Call up KPMG, call up EY, call up PricewaterhouseCoopers, call up Deloitte, call up a Big Four accounting firm. Say, hey guys, we want to work with you. You need to do an audit for us so we can prove to our customers and prove to the world that we're Gucci. And yeah, that's all that they have to do, in my opinion. And I'm sure there's other regulatory issues around that and that might open them up to other things. But for the most part, just do a damn audit and you'd be fine. But they refuse to do that for the most part, so not good. Taking a look at some more of these questions here too. Back to being a doctor, early retirement in 4 years. You know, the thing about these dips and when I look at these is if you don't plan on selling, it's not that big of a deal. If this is money you absolutely need tomorrow, it is a big deal. But all the money that I have in crypto, I am literally prepared to lose. I'm cool holding on to. So I am cool with that. And I am okay if the market dips, if it goes down quite a bit. So I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly happy with it. And I'm okay buying more. Granted, we are now coming back up against that $7,500, or that's $9,750 resistance level that we've seen. We've seen a little bit of a bounce here. I mean, this is not accurate TA by any stretch, and I'm not really your go-to TA guy, but if we looked at this, you've seen it kind of bounce off this level previously. If it dips below that, it looks like there's been some support in the past hour on that. If it goes below that, you might see a nice little free fall. $8,200 is a range that a lot of people have said, hey, there's support around $8,200. We'll have to see if that is, if that's the case. Somebody said the audit was done by who? Let's be honest. If you think that Tether had a legit audit, you publish the damn audit. Do it. Publish the audit. So that would be kind of my thought process. Like Tether could very easily say, hey, there's no no scam or anything like that. So somebody said, and Nathaniel Popper updated that. Let's see here. So they updated this to say, sent on December 6th. So I'm curious to see how that might affect the market, being that we've had the market kind of do what it's been doing for the past month and a half after that has happened. So the audit was done by Trayvon. Show us that loaded Jeep Trailhawk with your favorite specs that you use to plow through and conquer this shitstorm. This might set back the loaded Jeep Trailhawk goal of mine. I'm not a Lambo guy. I love a Lambo, but I will settle for a Trailhawk, or no, a Trackhawk. Excuse me, Trackhawk is what I want. But that's we need to pump that up. Furious Pete Vlogs, what's up, brother? When Asian New Year is over, will Bitcoin go to $200,000? I mean, Bitcoin going to $200,000 is a $2 trillion. What type of market cap are we seeing if that happens? That's a 20x from here. I don't know. I don't know if we'll see that. Could we potentially see that in the long run? Who knows? Kev said this stream is pure FUD with no effing credential at all. I think this is the kind of shit that doesn't help the market at all. I don't think the Tether backing is zero. I'm not FUDding the market at all. If you think this is FUD, you need to get your head checked, because Bloomberg and all these other articles out there, where there's smoke, there's fire. I hope that Tether is, I don't want Tether to not be real. It's going to hurt my pocket just as much as it hurts your pocket. But if you want to sit here and think everything is sunshine and rainbows, then think everything is sunshine and rainbows. Every time bad news comes out, you can't sit here and stamp your feet and cry, FUD, 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 when U.S. regulators are issuing random, massive potential actions. It's not, it's not just FUD, at least in my opinion. So if you want to say it's FUD, say it's FUD. But in my mind, I don't think that, I don't think that it's not great news, but I'm not selling either. And I'm telling you that, like, in my personal opinion, I'm not selling and I'm looking at dollar cost averaging more. But if you want to say that it's, the best news in the world and there's rainbows outside, actually, there might be a rainbow outside for me, but you just have to acknowledge the news and take it in. This is all news that you take, and everything that I say is a piece of information that you can leverage. Go out, do more research, do what you want to do. The market just again bounced off that $9,750 mark or so. So that's interesting. I'm curious. It's been the third time that bounced in that range. So it'd be nice to see that pull up, but yeah, who knows? Somebody said there's FUD and then there's logical arguments. Yeah, that's absolutely my my opinion is, and I'm not sure. I don't want the market to dip too. Like, if you guys think that I don't have way more money in crypto than I probably should, and that I want to see it go down, you're nuts. But long term, I'm confident in the market. And if this Tether stuff turns out to be bad, I do think it will dip the market in the short term. Long term, so like somebody said before, let's get this crap out of the system now. If Tether is indeed a bad actor, let's get it out of the system now so that we can have legit actors in the system in the future and get this crap out of the way. Because now we'd have BitConnect out of here. We'd have another potential bad news out of here. So that's good news for the long-term health of crypto. In my opinion, it would be. But if Tether just goes and does an audit and says, hey, we got a bunch of money in the bank and we're good here, and they give me the middle finger, then good. That means the market would skyrocket. So taking a look at some of these, I just caught half of what you were saying. What's up, Garrett? What's up, my man? Were you talking about moving all coins off to Nano or just BTC? So in my opinion, I'm probably going to just move all my crypto for the most part to my Ledger Nano S, just in case anything with any of these exchanges happens. I have most of it on the Ledger Nano S anyway, but just moving probably the vast majority, 95%. I probably have 75%, 80% of my crypto on a Ledger Nano S, and the rest kind of sprinkled throughout some exchanges, just in case I ever want to, in case I have any buy-sell orders open, anything like that. So somebody said, should I wait a little bit longer for the drop to continue or buy more now? My approach is always to dollar cost average. If you're looking to buy, take a little bit now and hold off a little bit. See if the dip continues. If the dip continues, buy a little bit more lower. If the market recovers, then either keep that fiat that you didn't use and just hold on to it in case another dip happens in the far out future. Or on the other side of the house, I would recommend, buying into the recovery, and then you have that. So that's kind of my thought process as far as how I handle these situations. Somebody said MakerDAO will resolve all these issues. Yeah, this is interesting because there are a lot of other stable coins out there, Tether alternatives, that are coming up and going to compete with Tether. So MakerDAO is one of them. There are a couple other ones out there. So I'm excited to see how this might progress the space, because this could be a pretty interesting one. Somebody said, remember when you had 7% of your portfolio in Engine Coin and you sold it all for a loss and it went 20x? Yes, Zach, I do. Probably not my best move. When you when you take an L, you take an L. I sold Engine Coin, I think, for a 20% loss, and it did pull a 20x. The rest of the market did. The rest of the altcoins did pull solid moves as well. I don't remember exactly where I put that money into, but a lot of the crypto that I moved elsewhere and consolidated into some of the altcoins did really well then. But yeah, I took an L on Engine Coin, and for anybody that held strong and hodled, you crushed it. So good on you. And yeah, you know, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's that happens. Bakhtir, what's up? Can you talk about arbitrage opportunities? What's your experience if you've done it? For the most part, I'm not big into arbitrage opportunities. I think you have to have a lot of money. Preferably, you probably have to have some algorithms developed as well. You need to have KYC across exchanges and a lot of other components of that as well. So for me, I'm not big into arbitrage. It's not my game. You have to be very intelligent when you're doing it. I think you can easily go onto some of these exchanges. You can easily go onto CoinMarketCap. When you think about arbitrage, you can go into CoinMarketCap and you can, you can look at something like Bitcoin and you can see, hey, right now it's trading on Upbit at $10,650, and it's trading on, Binance at $9,942. So if I buy it on Binance, if I send it over to Upbit and then I trade that, I could do that once a day and make $700 a day over and over and over again. Sounds like it makes sense, right? Not that easy, because there's different KYC issues, there's transferring issues, there's a lot of things that are an issue when it comes down to trading Bitcoin or some of these other altcoins. There are definitely opportunities there, don't get me wrong, but you need to do a lot more due diligence than just going into something like CoinMarketCap or somewhere else and seeing, hey, this is going to happen, or there's a difference here. Let's look at it. So. All right, guys, at this, so a couple different points. Let's see if hopefully this can power through $10,000. We're right on the cusp of 10K. Would like to see it get back up to 10K for the first time in the last hour or so. That would be positive. I think maybe some people are I think the fact that this was sent a month and a half ago is probably better news in a lot of respects, because the market hasn't totally collapsed. So maybe that's halfway decent news. But yeah, we'll see if this can break through 10K or not. What will happen? This is Bitcoin on GDAX, so I'm keeping an eye on this. And again, if you are new, we have 3,500 people in the chat right now. So what's up, everybody? I really do appreciate every single one of you in the chat. So thank you very much for that. One thing I will say there, though, is if you are new to the channel, by any chance, hit that subscribe button, the notify bell. And if you've been watching for a while, would love for you to hit that like button too. But at this point, I'm going to go, there we go, grabbing $10,000. I need to go grab lunch because I took this during my lunch hour at work, so I haven't even eaten lunch yet, but I need to go make myself lunch real quick. A little buffalo chicken wrap time. We'll see if we get that buffalo chicken wrap bounce. But again, like I said, the other video tonight, I will schedule this on the chat here. Actually, I'll take these last two super chats and then I will schedule it. But if you would like to stick around, I will be going live again 10 p.m. Eastern time for an interview with the Crypto Street podcast guys. I won't be able to answer questions really live, but if you want to listen in on that live stream, that'd be awesome. Chris Popovich, what's up? I need to liquidate part of my portfolio and have to choose between selling off a small portion of Neo or Stratus. Thoughts? I'm pretty bullish on Neo. I don't hold any Neo right now, but I might look to buy in on this dip. But I'm maybe more so bullish Neo right now over Stratus, but that's just my opinion. And I think the ICOs that Neo's having, DevCon and a lot of the developments there, I think a lot of people, and from a lot of people that I've spoken to at the Bitcoin Miami conference, a lot of my friends, they're very much bullish on Neo. And I think that might be obviously that was a solid play earlier on, but I'm pretty bullish on Neo right now. Somebody mentioned, should I buy Ponzi Coin? I think you could expect similar results to Ponzi Coin as you could with good old BitConnect. 99% dip, 99% dip. So we'll see what happens with that. And nice to see Bitcoin breaking through $10,000 there. Hopefully we get to see a sustained move upwards as well. So that'd be a positive. But like I said, if you want to, I'll schedule that on the YouTube if you'd like to join later on. So hit the subscribe button, the notify bell, so you can join for that. But it will be talking to guys on Crypto Street Podcast, 10 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Like I said, I got to get back to work and get that rolling. Appreciate everybody's time. I hope the price gets back to normal. I hope this FUD passes and we're all good. But thank you guys so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Buffalo chicken wrap time. Take it easy. Crypto Bobby signing out. Peace.
The average traveler visits loads of different websites.